Robert Saleh available for questions. We can begin.
Robert, after you had a chance to review the film, did you still have the same feelings about the way the offense played last night?
Yeah, first drive, obviously we had the 3 and out, missed a couple opportunities to move the ball in the first drive. Second drive, obviously they had the punt return for a touchdown, but felt that second drive was going really well. We would have had first and, I think it would have been like 2nd and 2 at the 35-yard line going in. Obviously we fumbled. Defense held well. Offense comes back on the next drive. We get it to midfield with a manageable 3rd and 3. I felt like we should have converted. Missed the op. That one, that was the fumble, which was the second fumble of the half, which led to their first points on offense. And so that kind of put us behind the 8 ball. And as you watch the game, as you go through it, a lot of good things, but a lot of inconsistencies. Especially with from an execution standpoint, penalties, drop balls. It was just sloppy. And then obviously you always look at it inward from a coaching staff standpoint and what we could have done better to put our guys in better position. And schematically, I'll keep that one in house. But there was enough blame to go around to everybody.
Would you have liked to have seen Zach do better last night?
Well, there's like I said, there's some good, some bad, some things that he can build off of, some things he still needs to get rid of. Whether it's understanding when enough is enough, understanding what defenses are giving you, and just being a little bit quicker and saying no to things, if you will. I thought overall he was distributing the ball, and like I said, we were moving it at times. Always. Presence in the pocket for every quarterback in football can always be a little bit better, but he, like I said, he could be a lot better. It wasn't, but it's lazy to just put it all on him. I think, like I said, it was collective all the way across the board.
Robert, with that being said, like kind of when you're looking for an answer and to jumpstart an offense, easiest thing is to change the quarterback, right? You can kind of spark things. Are you considering that at all, or is Zach your guy?
No, because it'd be one thing if it was just him, right? It is the easy thing to do. He's the most, him and the play caller are the two most visible things, so when things aren't good, it's easy to blame them, right? It's easy to blame the people who are most visible to the camera. But it's important to keep the main thing, watch the tape, look at the breakdowns, whether it was on the offensive line, at an execution standpoint, play call standpoint. There's a bunch of different reasons, and obviously they also get paid, so they did a lot of really good things too. But if it was just him, it would be something that would be worth discussing. But this is a collective issue that we all need to get on the same page with. It's whether it's drop balls, players being where they're supposed to be, executing the way we need to execute, calling plays that need to be called, putting players in the positions they need to be put into. That's all of us. And yes, he has a lot of things that he needs to improve on, and I know he understands that, but at the same time, this is collective.
Robert, doesn't the quarterback know, Robert? Right. Doesn't the quarterback know almost affect everything, Robert? Like, when we discussed offensive line in August, you guys pointed out, hey, Aaron can get rid of the ball quick and help if there's kind of like the quarterback sort of affects everything.
Yeah, no, quarterback's the point guard. He's the distributor of the football. He's getting people lined up. He's the tone setter in terms of the pace setter with regard to getting guys in and out of the huddle to the line of scrimmage. You're 100% right. Communication, everything starts with him. So yeah, he is the tone setter and helping everybody around him get better. But at the same time, I've also been very adamant that this is a team sport. Everyone around him has to help him too, and that's why I'm talking about it being collective. There's things that there's only so many things that the quarterback has control over, and everyone's got to pitch in.
Robert, are you concerned at all that this is starting to look a little like last year where the defense is playing great, the offense is where it is, and how do you stop that from happening again?
Yeah, we're like I said, we got to keep grinding. Nobody feels sorry for us. Nobody feels so, and no, I'm not expecting anyone to feel sorry for us. But defensively, really proud of those guys. That's a damn good offense that I felt like we were able to keep in check. It was unfortunate. I felt like there was about 5 turnover-worthy plays that we could have taken advantage of, and not one bounce went our way. Usually, you get 2 of them, but we weren't able to get any. And but really excited about the way the defense is playing. Like I said, it's at a championship level. Special teams had its first hiccup. I feel like this year, and giving up 7 points is not something we want to do. But if you would have told me that, hey, defensively you're going to hold them to 13 points and less than 200 yards, I would say that's a wrap. And so proud of those guys. But you're right. Like you just want to play efficient ball, consistent ball, take care of the football, find some explosives here and there, be proficient, efficient in the way we operate on the offensive side of the ball. And like I said, empathetically, there's a lot of moving parts. At the offensive line combinations and receivers and out of the lineup, guys. I'm not looking for excuses. I promise you, I'm not. I'm just. It's something that our guys are working through, and we're doing our best to try to make sure that everyone gets on the same page as quickly as possible, so we can be our best. So.
Robert, have you or would you this week consider bringing up Simeon to the regular roster?
No, not at this time.
Robert, have either of those guys, Simeon or Boyle, did they get any first team reps in practice?
No, typically in league-wide, no. It's Timmy Boyle. He'll take a couple of reps with the twos, but as far as first team reps, usually you're trying to get the first team quarterback every single rep. That's league-wide. That's standard. And then we have a flight school at the end of practice where guys who sorry, I got the lawnmower going outside. But, guys who don't get as many reps, we try to give them more game plan specific reps, and so they get about 10 reps practice, but it's of the game plan, not necessarily with the first team.
So if without personnel changes, Robert, how do you fix this, right? Like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. How do you fix what really not a functioning offense right now?
No, it's a fair question, Kaz. You're right. It seems like insanity, but when you're backed in a corner, you got to keep swinging. You got to keep trying and find ways to get better. You got to find ways to be more efficient. You got to, it's interesting. Again, it's all philosophical, and I'll just fill you in philosophically. Like, you go into the defensive meeting with their coaches this morning, and there's a lot of disappointment in there because they, defensively, from a coach's standpoint, we need to make more plays to get to, naturally, right? They want to make more plays. And I go right to, don't you dare tell the player they need to make more plays. They need to just do their job, and they'll make plays because of it. It's when you try to make more plays that you actually do less. When you're trying to do more than you need to do is when you actually screw things up. And so from an offensive perspective, sometimes when things aren't going very well, you're trying to do more than you need to do, when really you just need to do your job, and you'll actually do more with it. Hopefully I'm making sense to you. Again, this is all philosophical for me. And so a lot of times you can get guys pressing, and so just the focus being this, just focus on your job, take what defenses are giving you, play with the violence that we require to be great in the sport of football, and if you do your job to the best of your ability, and we play with timing and rhythm, and we get the ball out and we play fast, good things will happen. And what I think you're seeing is just a lot of guys pressing to make plays and trying to make something out of nothing when the right play to make is the play that's available to you at that moment.
When you allude to, he needs to process sometimes a little faster. Is that how much of that is just instinct for the quarterback? How much is it not being able to recognize the coverages he's seeing? Like, how does one go about speeding up that process?
No, I think he does. I think he understands defenses. I think Hack and Downing have done a fantastic job just kind of going back to square one and rebuilding. He's so much further along than he was a year ago. But right now, it's not a matter of, again, this is my opinion, it's not a matter of processing as much as it is just no one knows when enough is enough. Defense told you something. It's okay, progress. And I think sometimes it's a battle of just wanting to make plays. Like I said, we're in this rut, and it's like, well, I got to make a play. No, you don't. You just got to make the play that's available to you. Receivers, I got to make a play. No, you don't. You need to catch the ball, drop step, and get vertical. Running backs, I need to make a play. No, you don't. You need to go one gap at a time, and when a cloudy clear, and when it's clear, stick your foot in the ground, get vertical. It's that type of mentality that we need to shift from I got to make a play to I'll make the play that's available to me. And I think when that happens, everything will speed up.
How much of this falls
We'll
on
take a few more here, take a few more.
How much of this falls on Hackett, Robert?
It's collective for all of us, Kaz. Like I've said, coaches, players, we're all teammates. We're all in this together. Coach's job is to put the players in the best position possible to help them understand so they can play as fast as possible. And then the player's job is to go execute to the best of their ability and with collaboration in the offense and making sure that they're comfortable and understanding of what's being asked of them. And so, yeah, there's always look inward from a coaching staff standpoint. And, I'll give those guys credit. They felt like, they're searching. We went a little bit more no huddle this week, trying to spark the offense. So, they're searching, they're scratching, they're clawing, they're trying to turn over every stone. And eventually, you hope we find our groove. But I know it's not where anybody wants it to be, but I know everyone's working hard at it.
Aaron was just talking a short time ago on his weekly spot on TV, and he said he kind of gave it like a vague timeline. They asked him, like, when do you think you might be back? And he said a few fortnights. So everyone's doing math and figuring out, it's like 6 weeks. Has he shared anything with you? And what do you think of that potential timeline?
Well, I always keep my conversation with Aaron between me and him. But the one thing I will say is he is working relentlessly to try to get back here. And, he's awesome, man. But, just go, like I've said a million times, he doesn't have to, but he wants to. And I think it's a testament to his relationship with the locker room and how much those guys appreciate him and how much he appreciates his teammates. So I'm not going to say anything that he's told me, but I do know he's working really hard to get back here.
Is Dwayne a possibility this week, Robert? And also, did you come out of the game clean?
Came out. There's still a lot of evaluations going on. For the most part, I think we're pretty clean, but we'll see how Dwayne feels. We've got to go through some practices with him still before we make the decision on activating him.
Last one here. All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.